There's an intriguing theory that the number 7 has a different origin than all the other numbers. Alright, so what the heck does that even mean? The basic counting numbers 1 through 10 are actually like super old. They're so old that even really distant relatives of English still share these cognates. Like it's the reason that the word for 2 looks so similar in English, Greek, Latin, and Hindi. And that's because these digits can be traced back all the way to the ancestor of these languages, Proto-Indo-European. So here's what the reconstructed forms of those ancient numbers look like. Okay, so 7's in there just like all the other ones, so what's the problem? Well, the first thing is, I know all these words kind of look weird, but septum is kind of weird for a Proto-Indo-European word. It's got this big consonant cluster at the end with that syllabic M, and you just don't see a lot of words like that in Proto-Indo-European. Also, the root is only really used for this number. Like, there's no reconstructed words for like a group of 7 like there are for other numbers. But here comes the craziest thing. The reconstructed ancestor of a completely different language family, Proto-Semitic, has a root for 7 that looks like this, with inflected forms like this. So something like shabhum or like shabhatum, which isn't exactly the opposite of septum. And that's why some linguists like Rasmus Buren at the Max Planck Institute think that the Proto-Indo-European word for 7 might have been a borrowing from a really old Semitic language. Some modern Semitic languages are like Arabic or Hebrew. And this actually isn't the first time that Semitic loans to Proto-Indo-European have been proposed. Others, like the word for bull and terms having to do with agriculture, have also been proposed. And those kind of make sense because agriculture is thought to have spread out from the Middle East into the places where Proto-Indo-European speakers likely lived. But why the heck would they borrow the word for 7? Well, first off, they might have borrowed it at a time when they didn't even have a word for 7. For instance, there's cultures around the world today that don't even have a word for like 3. Buren also points to the fact that the number 7 was kind of culturally important in a lot of Near Eastern societies. For instance, it was important in cosmology and ritual cycles and stuff. It's a pretty fascinating theory, but I think it's fair to say that it's somewhat speculative and there's some linguists that aren't on board with it. It's kind of hard to reconstruct the exact chain of sound changes and adaptations that would lead to septum. And also just coincidences happen sometimes. What do you think?